much for coming. This is a project that I didn't think was possible, actually. I've never done anything so brave in my life, and the amount of personal growth from this project is unlike anything I've ever done. I took all of my insecurities, all of my doubts, all of my fears, and everything I've learned over the 17 years, and I applied it into this project. And you know, it's interesting how motherhood changes you, and it changes your perspective on life. And I took all the things that I wanted to change about myself and all the things I wanted to share, and I put it into this record. And I'm very proud of it. But more than the music, I'm proud of myself as a woman for taking it. And the biggest message is owning your imperfections and all the things that make you interesting, because I refuse to allow someone to put me in anybody's box. So some of you guys wrote really beautiful questions and funny questions, and I think they have some for me to answer.
So obviously this release was directly from Beyonce to her fans, so it's appropriate that the questions come from the fans. And we have 5 through Instagram, so here they are. First one.
Hi Beyonce.
Hi Beyonce.
I'm Audrey.
I'm Meg.
And we are wondering, what was the hardest thing to keep a secret about your new album?
Thank you.
Love you.
Well, it was many things. Oh my God, it was so hard. And I still, every single day, I've gotten on my knees and thank God that this happened. Well, it was a lot of craziness we went through. One of the things, I had an earbud in the videos, and basically the song would be playing for me and the director. So, for instance, EXO, we're walking through Coney Island, and everyone's screaming, and you know, those earbuds, they have a lot of static, and you can barely hear. And I'm trying to lip sync to the lyrics. I can barely hear anything, and I know I look completely out of my mind because I'm like, and people are like, hey, Beyonce! So no one knew why I was just speaking while they were talking to me. But we went through a lot of things to keep it sacred and to keep the surprise, because it's something missing and it's such a joy and it's something I was able to experience growing up. And I really, really wanted to surprise people and for them to really just hear the art and it not be about the hype and the promotion. And we actually did it, and it just says, it says so much about my team. You know, I started my own company, and my father taught me so much. And I, you know, when I decided to manage myself, it was important that I didn't go to some big management company. I felt like, you know, I wanted to follow the footsteps of Madonna and be a powerhouse and have my own empire and show other women, when you get to this point in your career, you don't have to go sign with someone else and share your money and your success. You do it yourself. So I found a team of underdogs, a team of women, a team of people that no one believed in. And we worked together, and we stayed up all night, and we were progressive, and we did not follow the rules. And we said, why can't we do it? And I don't think people believed. You know, I said to so many people, I have an idea to do a visual album, and I want to, and it was like, okay. And we did it. And not only did we do it, it's my company. And I'm very proud of that. I forgot what the question was. Oh yeah, I answered it.
You say, hey, Miss Carter.
Hey, Miss Carter. We were wondering, what
inspired you to be so open with your personal life on this album compared to your previous albums?
Like in the songs Mine, Partition, and Drunken Love, what was the story behind it?
That was a real politically correct way of asking. You know, I've always been very generous. I've always been very generous on the stage. And I took all of my pain, all of my joy, and I used it in my performance. But, you know, I'm very private, I'm very respectful, and I think it just took me no longer being someone's child. You know, once I became a mother, I felt like I could tear down those fourth walls, and I just felt like it was time. I completely feel liberated, and I felt like I could no longer create my art for other people. So I just felt like it was time.
Hey Beyonce, I'd just like to know, what were you doing at the time when you decided to release your album? Because I'm not gonna lie, I went crazy. I like kicked a table, I almost broke my foot. So that's my question.
You know, I just got off the stage. It was 11:30 once I took off, and I had a glass of wine. And my cousin Angie was like, "Girl, you all right?" Because I was talking to myself. Because I was terrified. I was so scared, and I already envisioned like the worst things that could happen. I'm like, people are gonna hate it? Why didn't I say anything? But no, I mean, it's just things that we all go through it's just human. And I was just really nervous because this was a huge risk. And when I landed, I saw it actually live on iTunes, and you know, you're just waiting for the first comment. And you know, the next morning, I just was.
So what's up, B? My question, who is Beyonce? I mean, whoever she is, we love her, I love her, but who is Beyonce? Is she like Sasha? Is she an alter ego? What's going on?
Well, Dream actually came up with Beyonce. We were in the studio and Justin Timberlake started beating on buckets. So when you hear the beat, that's literally a bucket. And it was really organic. It reminded me of being in middle school during the lunch breaks when you just start freestyling. And so we kept the production, we went back and forth, and I was very adamant about keeping it organic because that whole feeling is what's so beautiful about it. And Dream just started, Beyonce all on his mouth like liquor. And I'm like, what does that mean? But I love it. I think Beyonce is Beyonce. Miss Carter is Beyonce. Sasha Fierce is Beyonce. And I'm finally at a place where, as I said earlier, I don't have to kind of separate the two anymore. We're all one. It's all pieces of me. And just different elements of a personality of a woman, because we are complicated.
Hi Beyonce, my name's Aman and I'm from Oakland, California. I wanted to ask you, aside from charts and statistics, what would you have hoped to have achieved with this album when you look back maybe 10 to 20 years from now? Bye.
This was my first album that, of course, I wanted people to love it, and I wanted critics to love it, and I wanted to be successful. But my goal was not, picking a #1 single. My goal was putting together a body of work, and I just wanted to know if people cared about music. Because honestly, I was at a point where I felt like, everything it feels the same, and what I said in Ghost, all this shit I do was boring. That's how I felt. And if I could not challenge that, then maybe it was time for me to do something else or develop more artists, which is something I want to do. But growth. And I just hope that I continue to move forward and challenge myself. And I think now that I've become a mother, I just want my legacy to inspire people. And I guess that's the biggest goal is having happiness and knowing that when people come to my shows, they can escape all of the madness and leave there feeling like there's hope.
All right, let's say thank you, Mrs. Carter.
Thank you, Mrs. Carter.
Thank you, guys.
Say good night.
Good night.